Here we are, hitting up events, drinking our way through Chicago beer, and trying not to miss a thing.
Yeah, because, got a cork popped out, boom, it flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
You know, all you have to do is add some fruit, stir it up, and ride that milk-shaped wave.
Whenever I see him, I gotta take a photo with the most decorated brewer in Chicago, Jonathan Cutler.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. Every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Sometimes you want a small beer, but really, you want a big beer.
You gotta take in all those big aromatic hops.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Waiting in line for a bottle release?
You should have never been a fad. The black IPA is delicious.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
And to us, it's been a few weeks because our last episode was with Jana and Heather talking about Oak Park Micro Brew.
Oak Park 16.
Yeah, and then I went to Seattle and Oregon, and then Oak Park happened, and now here we are.
Would you like more Seattle or Portland?
Portland. They're the same and different.
Okay.
I don't know.
I've been
Washington's more expensive than Portland. You feel like so you get cheaper beer in Portland.
Yeah.
Lots of new breweries. I don't know. Not bad.
Yeah. I've only been to Portland for a fest.
Okay.
But I went to Seattle just for fun.
Yeah, both great places. But I'm back here, and we're drinking Chicago beer.
Right on.
We got on this hottest day we've ever had a smoked beer because we're on fire.
Alarmist Brewing Bamberg style Rausch Lager. It's a Bamberger.
Yeah.
Is
classic
it Bamberger? It might
Bamberg?
be. It might be Bamberger.
Yeah. Bamberg, Germany.
Yeah.
It's their version of a rich Munich applewood and beechwood smoked and dark wheat malts create a smooth, rich, and incredibly drinkable lager. It's tasty.
It's good. The wheat really helps with the sweetness in the beer, which is good. And also adds some nice body. So it's not just, because it's got a nice amount of smoke.
Yeah.
But that's not the only focus. So that's cool.
It's making me hungry drinking it, though. I feel like this kind of beer just needs food with it. I want some chips or, I don't know, sausages or, some pierogies, something like that.
You want to go to Bavarian Lodge is what you're saying.
Basically, pack up the show. We'll just do this from Bavarian Lodge.
You want to go to B Lodge.
But I picked up this beer a few weeks ago when I was at Alarmist. We've talked about Alarmist on the last couple episodes. So, nice to see them doing some different styles than you always see from everyone else doing hazies, lagers, and American Pale Ales. That's the default.
They're spraying all fields, and there's a nice panoramic portrait of some building in Germany.
Probably Bamberg.
Bamberg, yeah, over the waterway.
That's the Bamberg Tower, man.
Is it?
No, I don't.
I'm like, you're dropping knowledge, man. It just looks like
It's the Bamberg Bridge right there.
So, yeah, it's cool beer, and it's good. Like you said, they're giving us a chance to try something new. The different style we don't usually get around to.
Yeah. So on that last episode, we talked to Heather and Jana about Oak Park. I think we talked food too. It was a fun episode.
Yeah.
We didn't just touch on Oak Park Micro Brew, so although it's been passed, it's a fun listen. We ramble on about different things.
It's nice catching up with them. You know, I think when I met Jana, she was managing at Haymarket, and when I met Heather, she was running Festival. So kind of known them for the better part of the decade.
Right.
So it's always cool to talk to them because they know a lot. They've seen a lot, you know. I think one of the conversations was about Fobat. I don't know if that was on the air or not, but I was under the impression that the cider couldn't win at Fobat.
Okay.
Couldn't win Best in Show.
I don't remember if that was on there.
Well, 'cause we were there till fucking midnight.
Yeah.
But but then I think their response to that was, It could win. It's eligible. It just never did.
Yeah. Not on the episode. We tried to go to the brewery that was closest to Oak Park, One Lake.
Yep.
They were closed, like not closed down, just closed
Closed that
this
day.
night. This was a Thursday,
Maybe.
right?
Maybe. It was not a Monday, Tuesday.
Right.
I don't think it was a Monday, Tuesday.
So that was a little disappointing, and probably one of the only times I was likely to go there because I'm not in Oak Park a lot. Although Oak Park's a great place.
Yeah, Oak Park's fine. I think just from us, it's a good 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Easy. On a good day.
Right.
It might be 40 minutes. So, it's just not somewhere that we go a lot.
Then we went to Cooper's Hawk, which I didn't even know they had an Oak Park location.
I went to the launch of that Oak Park location.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
Maybe we talked about it on here years ago then.
I like a nice Cooper talk.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, not so bad.
And we were drinking wine. Nick got the sweetest wine.
What was it? It was a.
It was a German, German
right,
white.
That's right.
You're like, I have the German white
I had Delilah's
from Bamberg.
for a Bamberg German dessert wine. Yeah, because I think we were talking that Delilah's had. People don't know that Delilah's has an extensive wine program.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until the pandemic. So I'm like, I'll have a wine, and they're like, yeah, you got to try this German white wine. So I'm like, well, shit, I'll take the German white wine here. But the one I had that night was way sweeter than what I got from Delilah's. So.
But you ordered 2 of them.
It was that part of the night.
What is this guy doing? But yeah, fun hang. Go listen to that episode. It was great. And then Nick missed Oak Park.
Yeah. So Brad was there.
Right. So
I was out.
I got there maybe like 30 minutes before it officially opened. So during that VIP session, which was awesome. I feel like I'm always there right at the end of the VIP. I was there one time and like the food was in like different stores. You like went around.
Okay.
You went around Oak Park and you kind of like checked the shops and ate.
That's true.
This time, I was there in time and it was just a parking lot with the food kind of set up. So I was like, oh.
What do you mean? Like on the street? No, you said a parking lot though.
Like over by the beer store.
Oh.
They just had some tables set up. Haymarket is putting out pulled pork sandwiches. Someone else has some smoked trout. They got some other stuff. I was like, oh, I gotta indulge.
It's like it's like a food court.
Right.
Huh.
So that was cool. And then since had VIP press stuff, they gave you like a full glass, not just a little taster.
Was this section where the food that was the VIP section?
Base, yes and no.
Could anybody get back there and just?
Anyone could. There was a few people without bracelets and cups that were like getting food.
Well, that's the thing about Oak Park, right? Like the whole thing's open to the public.
Yeah, which it wasn't clear that this was only VIP. So I think there was other people like kind of being like, well, hey,
There's food.
There's food here. It looks like it's kind of free.
I'm about to get down on this trout.
So, I think they maybe need to do a little better job, like.
I'm about to get like 5 of these smoked trouts.
Sectioning that off.
Pair with my
if they care, but maybe they don't care.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah. No. A few of the breweries were over there. Some of them were still setting up. Some were pouring for VIP. I think it felt like you could go to anybody during VIP hour and be like, "Oh, are you ready to go?" And they're like, "Okay, here." That's what.
That was it. VIP's an hour. More so than a designation of a space. It's more like a time period.
Right, but a lot of the breweries were still just setting up during that time. Some of them were coming in. I saw Burning Bush, like, it was like 10 minutes before the start, and they're like rolling up with their
Preacher
Jackie
Man.
box.
Was the Preacher Man there?
I think so, maybe. Had a Bloody Mary, kicked it off with a Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary sounds nice.
Malt, Country Malt, who donates all the stuff for the Iron Brew.
Yeah.
They were doing Bloody Marys. I was like, all right. Yeah,
Bloody Marys are nice. I prefer them on Sundays.
Well,
I don't really drink them if it's not Sunday.
Sort of religious.
It just feels like a Sunday beverage, and that's when I like to have it. And I don't really drink it on other days. You know.
It's like a fish fry Friday kind of thing. All right, But I had myself one. It was Saturday. It's
There you
great.
go. That's a move right out of the Great Taste book. There's a during the VIP hour or the Brewers hour they call it, a cart. There's a Bloody Mary cart. There's a guy in a pickup truck, and on the back he's got all the things.
Nice.
And he just rolls around, and everybody loads up on Bloody Marys.
That's pretty cool. So then awards happened. Funkytown won a whole bunch. Old Irving won a whole bunch in the Iron Brew. Midwest Coast won for their oatmeal stout, like best in show.
I saw the Midwest Coast post,
Yeah.
and I was wondering what this was about. I'm trying to pull it up here because it looked like there were more categories that you could win in.
Yeah, it felt like there was different categories. They had like
So best in show,
they won best in show,
and then there's kitchen sink.
which I think it's just like anything that's not, I think,
Yeah. So
those categories.
So Midwest Coast won best in show, kitchen sink, and third place in non-IPA ale, which is kind of a weird
I think
category.
that was probably still their oatmeal stout that they won, and the one, or I think it's the one they won at World Beer Cup too. Right? Didn't they win at World Beer Cup for their oatmeal stout or their porter, something like that?
So you could win 3 different awards at this festival. In the past, there was just one thing you could win, and it was the Iron Brew Award.
Yeah.
But now you could win best in show for the entire fest. You could win kitchen sink, and you could win.
In your category.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
they won, but I ran into Jana like a little later, and she's like, "Oh man, you got to try that Midwest Coast because it was great. They won." I was like, "Okay." I was like, I didn't really care about the beer that they won. I go to their booth. They're like, "Yeah, we didn't bring it." How do you win for a beer that's not there? That's bullshit.
This is what, and tell me if I brought this up when we were talking to them, because back to Fobab. Best in show at Fobab was Duck Duck Goes from the Lost Abbey. It was the 20th anniversary edition. I was there early. I didn't see this beer at all on the floor. And everybody I asked to that covers this thing, did anybody drink it? And they were like, no, I didn't drink it.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
So I'm like, is it one of those things?
I guess like if they don't have the beer for the people to drink, what did you enter?
Firewatch Oatmeal Stout, best in show and gold for kitchen sink from Midwest Coast.
How'd you enter this beer if you didn't actually have this beer? You obviously don't have this beer.
That's a weird move. I mean, all right. Well, to be fair, that the judging of that thing is totally another day. It's not even the day of the fest, But I mean, you're going to the booth. Like, all right, you go to
You got the signs up.
You got the signs up, just like at GABF. Everyone who's got their signs up is kind of like, hey, I got this sign up because I want you to try this thing that won.
Right.
That seems normal.
And then they had, man, I feel like I took a picture maybe, but then they had other weird stuff. They had like a fruited sour, and then some other.
You talking about Midwest Coast?
And then some other hazy thing. It's like, you won for like what was it, stout, right?
Yeah, kitchen sink.
Just their stout, and you have these weird ones on. Obviously, you make really good beers. What are you doing? And we know you're English mild. I
ESB?
think is one at World Beer Cup, or one of those. So it's like, what are you doing?
I don't know.
So that was a little disappointing.
So you just went and got some more Blade Beers?
Yeah, Blood Beers are gone. I walked around, no bagpipes.
Okay. That's usually the sign that the fest begins, is that there's the bagpipe guy, and he in full regalia. He's wearing the kilt and the fucking matching vest and the whole shebang.
I don't know if it even started.
Shebang's a good word. How do I know this party started if there's no bagpipes?
Right, there was the beer that won wasn't there, and the bagpipes didn't happen. I might not have been at the right fest.
I was here, and none of the things that I know for the fest to be happened. So,
Right.
was this a different thing?
A little
That's funny.
confused. Because then, walking around on the episode, they talked about a lot of like non-alcoholic options.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was like one of the more the featured new additions to the party.
Yeah. So, how many do you think If someone says this to you, what do you think? How many?
I mean, like, 4, 3, 4.
2.
Just 2? Well, the one.
Lagunitas hop water
Okay.
and go. That was all I saw.
Okay. So no. Well, Athletic was supposed to be there. I think
I didn't
they're the
see
big dog. I mean,
as Athletic.
far as national sales, they got big volume. They're like top 15 now.
Maybe they were.
And then I don't even know who the fourth one would be. Oh, Big Drop maybe. Big Drop Brews.
Big Drop, yeah. Or
Big
I
Drop.
I didn't see Sketchbook there, but I would have thought they would have had their hop water.
Speaking of sections, that probably should have been a section.
Revolution didn't have their hop water that I noticed at the time. So I felt like for the talk of the non-alcoholic options, they were a little less than I would have thought.
Or they just weren't, and they didn't put it where you could see it.
Maybe, yeah. I might have missed it. I might have missed it. Yeah, it could have been my fault too.
You got to put this shit where I could see it.
Yeah, if there wasn't a section for it. Like Lagunitas was right by Go Brewing, but I went to Lagunitas to be like, oh, what do they have? And they had the hop water in these new 16-ounce cans.
That's a lot of hop water.
Yeah.
I thought did they come in bottles before, right?
12, bottles and 12-ounce cans.
Okay, well the bottle's 16 ounces though, right? That's not a 12-ounce bottle, is it?
The bottle is 12 ounces.
Bottle's 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about 12 ounces of hop water.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the opposite. In the 16 seems like.
Oh, I mean 16 ounces. Yeah,
right.
I don't. If they do away with the 12 ounce, I'm out.
12 is where you want to be because that's like your LaCroix alternative.
I don't need
Your
more than that. I like sometimes don't finish all of that. I'm like, oh, all right, I'll save some for later.
Right.
It's just water.
Huh.
But the new cans look nice, but I don't know. I like the 12 ounce, so I'm hoping they don't get rid of those.
So same layout as before, right? It kind of occupies one long street and then a couple of the side streets.
Yeah, 3 kind of side street parking lot things.
Yeah, all along the train lines, whatever those streets are.
There's porta potties on one of them. Yeah, one's porta potties, one's breweries on the other side.
Yeah.
Saw our buddy from Two Hounds Red, Steve.
Oh yeah, Steve Wardendijk.
Mm-hmm. He said he was just on. No, someone was just on the podcast, the beer Temple podcast.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the name of their pod, the Beer Temple pod.
Oh, okay. Was it him or someone else? Someone else mentioned being on it. Or it might have been Kevin, because I talked to Kevin for a bit from Beguile.
Okay.
I said, Nick and I always talk about, we got to get you on and talk to you. He's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I like Kevin.
So we got to do that. People were asking about their anniversary party coming up, because he said this was their 13th year at Oak Park Micro Brew, and it's only been around for 16 years.
That's right, because when they first showed up, they were Argyle.
Yeah, so they first poured at Oak Park. Was there like a launch or like introduction?
Wow.
And then he was like, oh, hearing that it's only been around for 16 years, it's like, he said he often feels like almost a newer brewery, but it's like, that fest was only around 3 more years than him.
That's wild. That's a good party. I've always enjoyed myself at that party. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's go. And then the Oktoberfest, we're out.
Oh, you mean like everyone was pouring them?
Everyone had them pouring.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to fully commit yet.
August. We're talking mid-August.
But I did try Microphone's Prost. Kick Prost.
Kick Prost. Okay.
Kick Push.
Yeah.
It's pretty good name.
Yeah, I like it.
It was good.
It was good.
I'm not ready for it, but it was good.
Yeah, it's a lot. Speaking of Microphone, a note from whenever I went to Microphone maybe a couple weeks ago, I was asking him what they're making the most these days, and he said, their lager. Huh. They cannot keep their lager in tanks. That's like their top selling beer, that and Microphone Check.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the top 2 beers. I forget the name of their lager. He told me to, but that was interesting. Like
that's selling so
when you
well.
think of a Microphone, you don't think lager.
Think pastry stout. Yeah. Sticky pastry stout.
Yep. That's the first thing I think of, or haze. Pastry stout or haze. He's like, no, we cannot keep this lager in tanks. You wouldn't believe how much we're selling.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that was Oak Park. I stuck around for a few hours since I was solo. Kind of like get to a point where you're like, I guess I gotta go.
My
Right?
work here is done.
Yeah. I walked up and down like twice. Had my hop water. I tried to go brewing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was anybody there to like talk about these beers, the non-alcoholic stuff?
Go was doing a taste test challenge with people, so they were
Okay.
giving prizes. I think some sort of taste test thing. I almost did it, and I was like, I'm already drinking one of their beers. I don't know. Like,
Oak Park is where we first had the Rev and Hot Butcher collab all those years ago. Yeah.
But a lot of good amount of brewers there. It felt maybe more spread out or something. It didn't feel as packed as it felt, and maybe it was just I was there a little earlier. I don't know. It just was like calm this time.
I like that. I hope that's a trend, right? Like, yeah, we could fit more people in here, but we're choosing not to. I kind of hope that's a trend.
But hopefully it wasn't that they didn't sell tickets. Like, hopefully it's them wanting to make sure it wasn't too crazy. But I don't know. I might have left before it got rowdy.
Well, it runs from like noon to 6, so.
Yeah, I left around like.
And Oak Park is kind
yeah.
of, it's not the easiest place to get to, Oak Park.
But if you're in Oak Park, you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
That was the only thing I made it to. It was a bummer not seeing you there.
I wanted to go, man, so I was there in spirit, but yeah.
People were asking about you.
I love that party. I really do. It's one of the first big parties. And it's so unique, too, because we talk about Oak Park and the backdrop a lot. And then we talk about how it's the convergence of the city and the suburb brewers. It's the only brewery that it's close to the city that all the suburb brewers will come to.
Yeah.
And then it's an OG beer event, you know? You talk about this Beguile thing. Pete Crowley fucking founded the thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a classic end of year kind of, I would dare call it like quintessential. Like if out of all the parties in the city or the surrounding, that's one of the ones where I'm like, all right, if you're going to go to one, go to that one.
Yeah. He was out in full force. And yeah, it was great. Kevin thanked us for doing the podcast. He's like, like people listen to it. Like industry people like find it more useful. I was like, yeah, it's almost like a history at this point.
I think so. I kind of look at us like, like if we play Lollapalooza, we wouldn't be playing new music. We would be playing the hits.
Yeah.
We play the hits. Yeah.
And next to Steve over 2 Ounce Red, Will Turner was pouring right next to Steve, which is like cool that he's still out there pouring, but also is like you're just now regulated to like, I don't know, Pete's his own like personality, and I feel like Will was, and now he's just kind of like doing his thing out there.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like it's like not as big of a name as he was.
Well, okay. So yeah, he's still the longest tenured brewmaster ever at Goose Clybourne.
Sure, yeah.
And then, he brewed a lot of award-winning beers at Rev.
Oh, not to say he's not a great brewer, but
But you're saying, this project is not Goose and it is not Rev.
Yeah, he's just kind of like who Will Turner isn't. People don't know. Like Pete Crowley is still out there being seen and being heard, and Will is he's just another brewer, and
yeah,
that's good and bad.
I think we should talk to Will actually. Now that you bring it up, because he kind of saved that program, right? Like, who was it? Steve Miller, the guy who was a co-owner that got pushed out over like, I don't know.
Me Too stuff.
Yeah.
Me Too or racist.
Me Too. Yeah, something. Oh, he got pushed out, right? Their whole program's in jeopardy. And then they go get Will Turner, one of the 10 greatest Chicago brewers alive.
Yeah.
So, huge score for them, And then the same for fucking the stop before this. So he's at Hailstorm right now.
Yeah, Open Outcry.
And Open Outcry. It was a huge score for Open Outcry.
Do you think Open Outcry would have not
Hitman for Hire. No,
done
no.
as well.
They're not. I don't think they were in the position that Hailstorm was.
Hailstorm was on the death's door.
Hailstorm needed someone to right the ship. I wouldn't say Open Outcry was like that, but I think he definitely elevated the profile of Open Outcry. Shit, I'm like, Will Turner's at Open Outcry? I would like to go there.
I went there. Yeah.
So I mean, but
that's why I went to Hailstorm, and now like,
Yeah.
I had mixed feelings about Hailstorm.
It's different. I mean, he's still so like White Sox analogy.
But that's a Hailstorm problem.
Like Frank Thomas played for the Oakland A's at one point.
Yeah.
But he still hit 30. He still hit like 35 home runs for the Oakland A's. You know, finished third in MVP voting. He was still Frank Thomas, but I understand what you're saying. But he was playing in Oakland.
Right.
You know, so it was like, yeah. I didn't know that until years later when I got a chance to talk to him in an interview, and that's when he told me. I'm like, you finished third in MVP in Oakland? I was like, I never watched any of those games. Right. But that's what you're saying. Like a Chicago legend is kind of brewing way out in Tinley. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But always a good time. It was a beautiful day. So next year, sounds like it keeps going. So if you missed it, I say put it on your calendar. It's a great kind of end of summer, just good hang, be outside. Yeah. There's restaurants there, so there's food options.
Yeah, and maybe one lake will be open.
Or you can always go to Cooper's Hawk too.
Oh, dude, Cooper's Hawk was fun. I did enjoy Cooper's Hawk.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about you? Did you make it to anything then?
Man, I started to go to Bishi. We talked about Bishi in the post show last week, and I wanted to check and see if the Pipeworks invasion was real. Mm-hmm. But they were closed on Tuesday. Okay. So I ended up going to Hopewell.
All right.
Pretty decent beer, and that's what it says on their fucking draft board.
Pretty decent beer.
Pretty decent selection is what it says.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you get the coaster, and it says Hopewell is A-OK.
Yeah.
So it's just a chill, kind of unassuming spot with just like a couple plants, a couple wooden chairs, and
we talk about it all the time. It's underrated.
Yeah.
And it's always enjoyable.
Yeah. So,
you have anything good? Did you get a slow pour?
No, I didn't get the slow pour. I took a picture of the board because I knew I was going to forget, man.
Their slow pour takes too long.
Yeah, the first pills. I got the Going Places, which is
that's a good one. We've had that on here.
Yeah, it looked like it's just a clean IPA. Mm-hmm. They got 12 on draft. Shit. And then I followed that up with the Oktoberfest Marzen.
Oh, you're leaning in? You're ready? We're going to start?
I'm like, you know what? The piper must be paid. So let me go ahead and get the fucking...
When does Oktoberfest officially kick off?
I don't know why I told Brad of all people, but I had the Oktoberfest.
I'm thinking about going to Germany. I might go to Germany.
I mean...
Post Oktoberfest. I don't think I'm going to make because it's like the flights are too late and too expensive.
Yeah.
So I might go at the end and just get all the
They say that there is another major fest that rivals Oktoberfest in another part of the year out there. So maybe you're gonna play for that.
I might just go post Oktoberfest and get Oktoberfest will still be on. Just go in October.
Just go in October.
Yeah, but when does Oktoberfest really start?
It closes out September, right? Isn't it like mid-September? The actual party.
So did it start? Oh, that's my phone recording.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's really. I think it's the first week in October it actually ends. It might be September 1st to October 5th or something.
You know who has the largest American Oktoberfest?
Florida.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, okay.
Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah, not far from here. Damn. It's like you can be in Cincinnati in 4 hours in a car.
Okay.
Oktoberfest over in Munich is September 16th through October 3rd.
October 3rd, okay. So we're close.
Yeah.
3 weeks out from officially starting. So next week we might just start Oktoberfest time. We're drinking them till November because that's just how we roll.
I'm just glad there's no pumpkin beers out. Oktoberfest being out in mid-August, okay, fine, right? Because school starts back in mid-August or whatever, right? But as long as they keep it there, no pumpkin beers.
I think pumpkin beers are kind of out.
In general?
And I think there's the staples, there's the Southern Tier, there's the Shipyard.
Yeah.
There's a couple others.
Does Dogfish even do it still, the pumpkin? No. Punkin is Dogfish.
Yeah, there might be a couple, but in general, I think they're out.
Yeah.
They're fine. Maybe, I don't even know if anyone local is doing.
Who does a Well, they do a pumpkin. They do a nice pumpkin.
Oh yeah, I think we've had that before.
That might be the only thing I would get from them nowadays, is a pumpkin.
But yeah, I haven't seen someone actually do a pumpkin beer.
Talk about spraying the all fields, man. Hopewell had a Goes, a hazy, an IPA, a Pils, a Hef, a New Zealand IPA, a Marzen, an Italian Pils, and a Lupo Lager.
What's a New Zealand IPA? Just the IPA with New Zealand hops?
Right. Yeah. So there you go. Pretty decent beer selection.
Nice. It's A-okay.
A-okay. Hopewell is A-okay, man.
Nice. All right. We need to close out summer here with a bang. We got a few more official weeks as we ease into Oktoberfest season. So we need to hit up some of these other places. Get out there.
Yeah, I'm still curious about the Vichy thing, but want to do something other than that. We were saying that maybe the new end of summer, like Great Taste and Oak Park are usually a week apart, and that's kind of the end of big summer events. But we're saying if this tradition of, the Brewers Triangle, which is, and the Goose Room and 2 Block Party, if they're going to keep happening on the same weekend, then that might be the new official close of the summer,
Right. So some events coming up, which, this podcast started with us talking about the events that are happening. And now we just go to places.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
But there are a bunch of events coming up with the Goose Island 312 Block Party happening September 22nd and 23rd.
Yeah.
This thing is free to go into.
Yeah.
You just pay, I think every beer is basically $5, right?
Yeah, they do that. You cash in tokens, I think, right?
Yeah.
Brad and I went last year. It's pretty good hang.
Yeah, we may go Friday this time rather than doing it with Brewers Triangle Oktoberfest ride. But before getting to that, also the 22nd is Temperance 10th anniversary Oktoberfest party.
Nice.
So I don't know. Do we go? We could go there and then do the whole thing on Saturday. Yeah.
Temperance is Saturday?
No, Temperance is Friday.
Oh, you want to go there? Well, we can ride bikes though up there.
What if we did it the other way? We started at Goose, worked our way back.
To Temperance?
No. Home.
Oh.
The north side.
I mean, I'm curious about all of these things because I'm kind of. I mean, there's a little sadness, Season's changing, and I know fall's not gonna be crazy cold,
Right.
but
The thing we're talking about riding to is the Brewers Triangle Oktoberfest party, and this includes Metropolitan, who puts on a killer Oktoberfest party.
Probably the best one.
You could just do that,
Yeah.
and you'd have a great Saturday.
Yeah.
They have food, they got games, multiple firkins happening.
And it's the best tap room in Chicago. Let's just
And
call
they
it
do
what it
they
is.
throw out the back room too.
I didn't even know that place even was that big. I didn't know it was that big.
There's often special merch.
Yeah, there's DJs, and then they're a lager brewery.
Yeah.
So they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it up.
Right. We use it as our basically our Oktoberfest. It needs to be this.
Yeah, this is like our Delta. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a term for that. Our guide beer, whatever
Right.
that term is.
I think we had one come ahead of it, right? Did the Hopewell one come ahead of it? I forget.
And maybe in cans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely the standard that you judge all the other stuff you drink that day on.
Right.
Is the Metro one. Yeah.
And
sure.
then, so in the Brewers Triangle, you got Metro. Then you got Ravinia, which
Ah.
they got a pretty solid Oktoberfest.
Very nice, little dimpled mug.
Yeah.
Very nice beer.
And then Maplewood, which I actually haven't had.
I don't remember having theirs. Do you?
No. I think we have a lot of new ones to add to this year's lineup.
Yeah, I'd rather do that because we went to a pilot project last year along with this Maplewood. I mean, along with the Metro thing.
Ravinia,
Yeah.
pilot project, then Goose. Pilot project let us down.
Yeah, they're almost like, well, we don't really have to go back to pilot project. That's how we feel. Last time we went.
Yeah.
Oh, and they threw a party last week. They had their 4th anniversary.
Wasn't the pickle party?
Man, Donna's pickle beer. You know, I gotta be honest with you. I kind of like Donna's pickle beer, man.
Okay.
Cause I go to the right down street from Hopewell. There's a dill pickle co-op, and I go
Yeah.
there to get veggies. You know, they got the lion's mane, mushrooms, and all this stuff.
Okay.
Oh, but they always have Donna's pickle beer because it's
Oh.
the dill pickle co-op.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I do like that beer. It's a dumb made up story. I don't believe that Donna kissed Mick Jagger accidentally while she was eating a pickle. It's just such a ridiculous story on the can. I don't believe it for one bit, but I do like the beer.
All right.
Yeah.
Damn. So really, September's shaping up to be like a busy month.
Good. It won't be 100 degrees, hopefully.
Yeah,
And we still got some life left in this warm weather period.
for sure. Yeah. The only other thing to mention before we get out of here is another brewery closed, Oswego Brewing, which I assume is in Oswego.
Right. That sounds about right. I don't know much about Oswego.
Obviously, they don't drink.
Right. Or something. Something went left out there. Maybe the rent went up. That was Betabrow's story. They agreed to pay like 3 times the rent after like a couple of years. And then the year came, and then they were like, then they had to
Well, that
sell.
space is too big.
Too big for them.
It's too big for Moody Tongue, too.
I don't know. Moody Tongue seems to be all right, though. I mean, Well, people go there. I don't know. Personally know people that drink there, but the couple times I went, I'm like, they seem to be doing all right over here. What was I going to say? There's another brewery in Oswego because that brewery is at Navy Pier. And but it's not the Oswego Brewing Company.
Not the Oswego Brewing.
No, maybe I'm thinking of Ottawa. Sorry. I take that
okay.
back. Getting my O's crossed.
I feel like I've seen Oswego Brewing either somewhere or on something, and I was just like, I don't know.
Well, because you're talking like deep. I can be honest with you. I don't even know where Oswego is.
I forget. I've heard of Oswego.
Right. Probably because I had them at like, maybe a Naperville
I
fest.
think it's out there near Plainfield.
Yeah, somewhere over there.
Yeah.
I don't know much about them. I think when you hear about these breweries closing, I think a lot of it is like, well, they're not connecting with people that are regulars, or the local community, the people that would go on off hours. Maybe they're not connecting there. A lot of people say we haven't recovered since fucking 2020. You hear that story a lot from people that are doing fine from a distance. Even they say that.
Right. I think that's something, what Metal Monkey said, that they took out a whole bunch of more loans during 2020 to help pay for things, and then they just, Smiley said that, not Metal Monkey. Smiley said they went into like more debt. It's like, no, you opened up a stupid new spot during the pandemic. Why would you expand? Why didn't you just like focus on that?
Because the world needed more Smiley, Brad.
Yeah, looks like the world needed less Smiley.
Another thing it does too is like I think it speaks to people's burn rate. Like how much money do you have to put into this thing? Right. A lot of people kind of ran out of money for their fucking project, right?
Sure. I don't know anything about Oswego Brewing because I had barely even heard of it. Never have been. We don't even really know where Oswego is.
Now we gotta find
But
out.
somewhere like Metal Monkey, I know why you guys closed. You were in the fucking middle of nowhere. You were past like 2 Amazon fulfillment centers.
No more Bomberg for you, bro.
It was so far that why would anyone come here?
Oswego, New York's the first thing that comes up. All right, here we go. Oswego.
Where is it at? But I'm saying like the Plainfield, Westmont.
Oh yeah, so it's west of Plainfield and south of Aurora.
Yeah.
So it's in between Aurora and Yorkville.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so crazy southwest, the edge. Because once you get past Yorkville, you're in like, I don't know, Plano, Sandwich. I feel like Yorkville is as far west as I'm familiar with.
Yeah, Yorkville, Bush. I know like Sugar Grove.
Yeah, Sugar Grove is just as far west as Oak or Yorkville.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but Yorkville has that like great burger place, the Crusade Burger.
That's why I went to Yorkville.
And there's spots out there, but then the fact that, yeah, like you said, you must not be connecting with the people because there's people out here.
Yeah.
You're either in a bad spot like Metal Monkey, or you're doing a bad job.
This is fucked up that we're saying this about a place we haven't been, though, Brad.
I know, but like, we've been to a lot of places that are, you know, not doing so. Like they don't make great beer, and people are there. Like what's happening here?
So, I mean, I salute anybody who's throwing their hat in the ring and said, "Hey, I'm making a brewery. I'm starting a brewery, and I'm putting my money behind it and my effort behind it." And
But someone like look at Skeleton Key. They had a tornado come through them. That's an easy like throwing your hat.
we're done.
We're done. That didn't work out.
We literally had a freak accident, a disaster.
It was an out.
Yeah, a disaster, a literal disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're like, we're gonna rebuild.
yeah.
And everyone's like, cool. We're gonna come support this.
I think
You were doing something right.
people rally behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting because with their story, they were teaching, I think they were teaching at College of DuPage. And then they were known to be a place where they invited people out to kind of come and study off flavors and beers and, kind of promote beer education. And on top of that, they had an incubator program. So they were, it speaks to their connections, like we were saying.
Yeah.
They were connected. So when something happened, people stepped up.
Like Rock Bottom closing in Chicago, that wasn't because no one was there, because people were there. Again, probably not connecting. Like it was people there drinking and eating because it's just a place there.
It was a primo location.
No one was like,
State and Grand.
let's go to Rock Bottom and like do that. No, you're like, let's go to Rock Bottom because they got that rooftop, or
Fantastic rooftop.
let's go to Rock Bottom because I don't want to go to Chili's. But
I don't want to go to Chili's either, man.
because Crushed by Giants is right there.
Do they still got those Jack Daniels?
I don't even know the last time I've been to
They have a
Chili's.
Jack Daniels sauce for their wings at Chili's.
What, a bloomin' onion?
Blue Onion's good, man. I haven't had one in a while. I still don't want to go to Chili's, though. I would have went to Rock Bottom, too.
So I think you're right about like the connecting with the people, and a lot of these breweries that close. We do a show that talks about Illinois beer, and we don't make it to everywhere, but it's like some place like Migraine closed. It's like, I don't even know who that is.
Like, look at the Round Lake, Black Lung. Black Lung, through this whole thing, is winning about another space.
They're doing more stuff. Like, what?
Yeah, but they really love music, and they love DJs, and they love to party, so they focus on guests. They had a lot of guests out there. I don't know. I don't know what works and what don't work. So it's it's a good run. You don't have to hang your head. You hold your head up high as we go in Migraine.
Sure. Even AB is closed. They closed platform, and so
The largest brewer in the world is fucking downsizing. So
yes, it may not always be that you're doing something wrong. It may be that people are just drinking less beer.
and there's fucking 9,000 breweries, like probably the most breweries ever.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, people are drinking. They're drinking less of beer. They're either staying at home making other stuff, or they're just drinking less.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know. So we gotta go to these places to support them. That's basically kind of where we're at. So where are you going next? Bishi.
I might go to Bishi. I don't think I'm about going to Milwaukee. I just thought about this. There's a thing at Pilot Project, Milwaukee, which is the old Milwaukee Brewing Company that they bought. They're doing some kind of thing up there. I forget what it's called.
Okay.
I think I might go up there Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah, might take the old ball and chain up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going, but I am. You were last year talking about Scratches Oktoberfest.
Man,
I think I might do it. I might take off a Friday kind of thing.
It's down there. I don't know if you can.
You got to do it 2 days.
Yeah, it's actually further south than St. Louis, because I was looking at the map, and I'm like, well, shit, you could hit St. Louis, but you got to hit St. Louis on the way back, because you pass St. Louis. Mm-hmm. That's how far south it is. You pass St. Louis, get into it.
But you got to get there, go to Scratch, and then drive up and stay somewhere else.
If you're doing another stop.
Right.
And then where are you gonna stay in Ava, Illinois?
Right. So you got to drive. I forget. It's like a couple hours to some other small town.
Yeah. Man, it's a unique brewery. You know, you were talking about the Beer Temple podcast, and Michael Roper was on the guy who owns Hop Leaf.
Yeah.
He said he's got a videographer and he's recording a documentary about Scratch.
Oh,
That's a project of his.
Oh, that's cool.
It's an interesting play. I only know about him because it's on Draft at Beer Temple. But, I mean, they're foragers.
Yeah.
They have all these bizarre fucking ingredients in their beer. It's a cool story. And then, you know, their beers are weird, but still not weird enough that I don't want to explore them.
Yeah.
You know, I still seek them out.
But it's a hike. Look, you're like, I'll just go up to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's closer than going to Scratch.
It's like going to a deep burb. It's like going to Woodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Milwaukee. But Scratch is like, no, we got to stay because we're
drove out of town.
We drove too far. we are OT, man.
So I don't know where I'm going this weekend, but that's on my, I think, short-term list.
Yeah.
And especially, I don't know, do they can you bottle? Do they do anything to go?
I think they do bottles.
So
They just don't make it up here.
If I could get there Oktoberfest.
Sounds nice. You know? Sounds nice.
Other than that, not sure what I'll hit up. Maybe a Burning Bush. I haven't been there all summer. See what's up before the patio area is done. Patio life coming to an end.
Fuck. Yeah, we got about a month left. Yeah.
But all right, that's gonna do it for this week's episode. We'll be back. Should be back next week with another one. Nick, where can people find you? Get in touch.
Hey man, I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
And Be Rad and Chicago Beer Pass is everywhere. Chicago Beer Pass. Take care.
Cheers.